now! A fight with them's a fight to the end! Ready for a snowstorm? On the bright side, you might be in a museum one day.
Rippers attacked me out of nowhere while I was updating my personality matrix. They totally porked the upgrade, so my usual tactics, social grace, are gone.
Let's go, team!
What is going on, everyone? It's Lo-Fi Nole, and today we're gonna be talking about a build for Harlow. I love this character to death from Borderlands 4, and I haven't made a build for the character, so I said why not make the build today, and we're gonna be making a build. If you like the content, then feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so then you can be tuned in on my feed when I post stuff that's about Borderlands 4, not about Borderlands 4, so like warframe, in case other games that comes out that I really fancy, and just daily stuff that I like to do. So with any further ado, now the build that we're gonna be working with is pretty much a gun running build. That's what I like to call it. We're gonna be really heavily into the green skill tree here, and maybe a little bit here and there with the blue skill tree. We're not gonna touch the red skill tree whatsoever, because we all know that's her best skill tree in the game so far right now. And now this is the build that I've been running. I've been trying this out, experimenting, changing certain things to the build, but I think this right here is gonna be my finalized build until we get more levels, or simply something gets changed or nerfed or buffed, whatever case may be for Harlow. So the purpose of this build is really just to run with your gun and give you buffs to just mow down enemies, bosses, you name it. So the biggest thing on this build that you need to have is gonna be the capstone group study. That just gives you a little floating buddy that gives you different buffs that will be beneficial. From there, momentum, neutron decay, excited state, and lastly, parallel circuit for your damaging portion for this build. To make sure that you get excited state and neutron decay procced, you're going to be running the augment blue giant. It just leaves a giant radiation hazard on the floor, especially since you're moving around with the halo. That's what it's going to leave majority of the time. And while this action skill is running, make sure that you're re-triggering the action skill, so re-pushing the button that you use in order to trigger in the first place. Keep doing that because you will keep getting buffs every single time. Now the next thing to this build is going to be how do you get it back really quickly. The two main skills that you should ever care about right now for Harlow is going to be confirmative reality and 2 coolant for schoolant. These two right here, hands down, will pretty much keeps you on a good rotation for your build to re-trigger. It's very, very simple, as long as you're doing cryo damage. And then on top of that, if you're shooting an entangled enemy, and it's really simple to entangle them once they walk into the action skill or they get hit by effect, or if you're also running rippered effect, if you are dealing with ads, then any enemy is going to be entangled. So all you got to do is really shoot them with cryo, and on top of that, they're entangled. You're going to get your action skill back pretty quickly. The next thing to talk about is your survivability for Harlow. So assertion and also keep ice on that is your bread and butter to keep you alive. Same thing with getting your action skill back quickly. As long as the enemy is entangled and you're shooting them with cryo, you're going to be getting life steal. And if your health is full with keep ice on that, you not only get health back, but you also get overshield. Now the last skills that have left out because really they don't fit in certain like things I've already said, or I just needed them in order to get down to the next tier in the skill tree, or they're good to have but it's not like a necessary thing. I would definitely say refraction, action at a distance, table flip, ripple effect. They're not needed whatsoever to really make this build work, but they're nice to have. And that pretty much wraps up the build. Now lastly, the framework, really it comes down to your individual choice about what you want to run whenever you're playing Borderlands 4. But me, I kind of like the Dead Eye with the God Killer set. I've been doing a lot of research. Apparently God Killer does work on bosses. Someone in the comments will probably tell me if I'm wrong or not, so write down in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it does work against bosses, and you only really need to get like the 2 set, not the 3. So went with that. And of course I'm rocking the throwable knife. But with your framework, you can really mismatch. I mean, sometimes I like to run the high caliber set. Now that set also gives you more gun damage as long as you get to the 2-piece. So you can also run high caliber if you want to change it out God Killer for something else, because by running the 2-piece, you get gun damage. So with Deadeye and high caliber, you're getting some good damage at the end of the day, but it's all on you how you want to run it. And lastly, before I move on to specialization, the biggest thing that I had to test out when I was running this build and seeing which one will be the best beneficial to this build would be her class mod. You would think universal generator would be a good class mod to run on this particular build, but we're not using her flex grenader or her green skill tree to do damage necessarily. We're really just using it to give ourselves buffs, so then we can apply more damage to a boss or enemy or whatever case that we're shooting at. Really deep down, universal generator isn't the best class mod to run this. Even after I did a little bit of testing and just to see which math I'm gonna get, the class mod that I'm running now is more beneficial, which is Atomic Radiator. Pretty much with this class mod, she gains a stack for every enemy that is entangled. And of course, as you read through the class mod yourself, she just gets movement speed, gun damage, fire rate, reload speed, etc, etc, etc. And so with you reprocking your action skill here or re-triggering it, you're gonna be getting more beneficial buffs from the action skill itself, so which equates to more damage, more fire rate, more reload speed. From that, I went with this. It's a lot better. If you find yourself liking other class mod, I have no issue. It will work for you, but not for me. And lastly, specialization. Now, I'm not done with my specialization. Again, I'm still working on it, okay? But for what I know right now, what I'm looking for, if I am going to run this build fully, which you really don't need these things in order for this to really work, but if I had to choose, it would be really you this, compounding affection, contamination, and lastly, now with caffeine. If you're not running anything from specialization, you need to be running now with caffeine. I think that's one of the best ones out of the whole thing. And that pretty much wraps up the whole video here about what I want to talk about with Harlow. I think overall her best skill trees right now is going to be her green and red, while as her blue is just really lackluster in terms of just bossing. The ad clearing and ad control, I can see the potential. The potential's there, is fun, but even then there are mismatch moments where even a certain enemies are not getting picked up. I wish that could be changed. I wish that could be buffed. I wish it could just do something more than just not do anything to a big enemy or enemy that can't be picked up. And that's pretty much it. I will catch you guys in the next one.